everybody. I'm Megan Wilson. I'm the Executive Director of Treehouse Hollow Preschool. I wanted to welcome you to our Creekside campus today. So I thought I would bring you in and we could go on a little tour of the classroom and the garden since we're closed right now. And you can check it out. Come with me. So here we are sitting in the shade garden at the Creekside campus. This is our native plant area. We're so fortunate at this campus to be right next to a creekside. So we have a wonderful riparian habitat with the oak trees and the buckeyes, and then we've planted all these shade plants like ferns and different things in our garden. Provide some wonderful shade throughout the day, especially in the summer heat. So we're just gonna sit here in the shade garden a little bit while I tell you about our program. So our main program hours are from 9 to 1, and we have optional before care that starts at 8 and optional after care that goes until 5. There are a few different options for pickup times in the afternoon if you are using aftercare, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So during our main program hours, the children will arrive and they'll enter in through the deck and we'll classroom and put their things away, and they'll be greeted by some different staff and get involved in the day, and we'll see the inside in a little bit. But after they get involved into the day, they will sometimes have optional inside-outside time or an open indoor-outdoor classroom. Often during the day, in the morning, we'll all start in one space. And so the teachers will set out all kinds of activities for the kids, and they get to pick what they would like to do. They'll play for a while, then we'll have a gathering and do a circle time with the kids. A circle time is typically about 20 minutes. We try to keep it developmentally appropriate for the 3 to 5 year old age group. And our circle times are lots of songs and movement and dancing, reading books, talking about whatever the kids are really interested. Our kids here are always big talkers, so we definitely have a lot of time for that. After circle time, they'll go and wash hands and they'll get ready for a snack. Often when it's nice weather, they'll have snack outside. Actually, here in our shade garden, there's some picnic tables. And we provide the snack every day. It's all organic food, and the kids often do a lot of the cooking themselves here. So we grow a lot of food in our garden, which the kids are always harvesting and eating throughout the day. And then we also use a lot of that for snack time. And after we do a family style snack, and so all the food is set up for the kids and they can self-serve, or the teachers will be serving too sometimes, depending on the situation or what there is for snack. And yeah, the kids sit together, they chat, work on, some table manners, and we have compost buckets and a dirty dishes bucket, and the kids will put their own dishes away when they're done and scrape their food into the compost. And we do have a little worm bin that we would feed the worms with some of our compost. So then after the kids are done with snack, then they'll just naturally progress back into free play, and often it will be outside or inside depending on where people are being happy, and they'll just keep playing. The bulk of our program is for open free play because we are a very play-based program. So we believe that children learn the most through play. And you can always get all kinds of learning into play. Like we're in the garden and we're looking around, we're like, oh, let's find all the colors of flowers that we have in the garden, or let's count how many salamanders we can find under a log. There's always a way to bring that stuff into our regular play. So that's kind of how we do our approach to academics here, is just integrate it instead of, we're definitely not a sitting at the desk and doing worksheet type of program. So the kids are doing their play, doing their social emotional development. We have a strong emphasis on problem solving. We greet that as part of our curriculum, so we don't shy away or get upset about it. Kids are at this age, that is their job, to learn how to solve problems and negotiate and label their emotions and ask for what they need. And so we are here to help guide them and do that. So we always are ready, and we give the children the opportunity to first, try to solve things themselves, and we're ready to step up and help them through and guide them in that. And they become such confident problem solvers by the end of their time here, which is really wonderful, because they can actually learn that way, instead of when adults are always doing things for them, then they don't get the opportunity to problem solve and learn all that stuff. So in terms of our curriculum, we are very play-based, like I said, and nature-based. Because we're an open indoor-outdoor classroom, we also see all the changes happening around us. So we're noticing the seasonal things like, oh, all the leaves are falling off of the trees, or the buckeyes are here, or all those different things. It's really cold now, or it's raining. And so we do a lot of our curriculum based on what's happening in our environment. So some of our curriculum is just based on what's happening in nature, and then what the kids are finding out while they're investigating out in our yard, or out on adventure day, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And then we also follow some emergent curriculum. So we are always watching the kids, like, what are they really interested in, and how can we support that? And so we spend a lot of time just watching the kids and supporting what their own interests are. So if we see, oh, a bunch of kids are flipping rocks and looking for roly-polies and worms and critters, then we're like, okay, what do they want to know about it? Is it about the bugs? Is it more about flipping the rocks? Is it something more? And we start to develop curriculum and explore that with them. And we just stay with it however long the kids are interested in it. So we've had one year where the kids were really into space, and we turned our whole indoor loft area into kind of like a spaceship and planets and all this stuff, and the kids would go on and on with it. That curriculum lasted months. It was really incredible. And we do have enough staff where, not all the kids are going to be interested in the same things. So, a lot of the kids will be interested in what our main curriculum is, but we do have enough staffing that we also can individualize our attention to and follow individual kids' interests and their needs throughout the day and throughout their time here. So we're always working with the kids and the families to best support everybody, the group and individually. Here we are over at our Casita at Treehouse Hollow. This is our little house where the kids love to play. There's a little kitchen in here. We have a little deck and a mailbox and even a little bridge that passes a little dry creek bed that we made for the kids, so they like to pour water in there and all kinds of things. So this is one of the fun places that we like to play here. I wanted to talk a little bit about our ratios. So we have up to 16 kids here each day, and we have 3 teachers and sometimes a co-op parent. So we have a co-op program that's optional, where a parent would work 1 day a week in the classroom, and then they get a tuition break. And it's just a wonderful experience because the parents get the opportunity to spend that extra time with their kids in their school environment and get some of the tricks of the trade from us. And then we get the extra help and support from the parents in our classroom, and more eyes on the kids and more different interactions that are really wonderful. So if you're interested in the co-op program, make sure to let us know. But definitely a lot of our families are just regular tuition based, and that's great too. So we kind of have a hybrid program here, which is kind of unique. So we have the really great ratios, and we also have 8 kids that will go on Adventure Day 3 days a week. Here we are at our outside circle area. So we have a bench, we have logs. So we often set this up with some blankets and books and have it be a cozy just reading spot throughout the day. We'll gather here for circle times or to have little meetings or whatever we're gonna do here. So it's always a nice group spot for us. And we also have these wonderful logs that make up part of the circle, but they also can be used for anything here. We emphasize a lot of loose parts here, which means we have big materials, logs and sticks and balls and pipes and rain gutters and all kinds of random things, stones, things that the kids can use to alter and create their own environment. So nothing here is set in stone stable. The kids are welcome to move things around, create new ideas, set up different games with all the loose parts. And we love loose parts as opposed to just toys that serve one purpose, because one purpose toys kind of limit the imagination, where loose parts and open-ended materials can really let the kids use their imagination and make it into whatever they want it to be. Here's our mud kitchen that we have at our Creekside campus. So we have a little mud pit, and we have our special mud kitchen where we have all kinds of utensils and pots and pans and all kinds of stuff. And so the kids can scoop up mud and make different mud and water creations. This area also tends to have a lot of glitter and potions and all kinds of things made in it. So it's super fun. The kids can spend a really long time here. And speaking of our mud area, I thought I would tell you guys that we are definitely a get messy school. So not that we're making kids get messy, but we don't discourage it either. So we ask parents to bring kids to school in clothes that are okay to get dirty. And we ask the parents to bring a backpack with at least 2 pairs of extra clothes so that the kids don't feel inhibited by, oh, I don't want to get this all messy, and then not be able to fully engage in what they're wanting to do. So if they have their extra clothes, then great, go play, be messy, and then we can always change your clothes, it's fine. So we really try to encourage the kids to, do what they're feeling passionate about and really interested in without worrying about what they're wearing so much. And yeah, if you send like a little wet bag, we'll just pop the clothes in there and they can go home and get washed, no big deal. And we also have our program is rain or shine. So if it is raining some days, a lot of the days in the winter, we ask that all the families bring rain gear. So like rain suits, rain pants, jackets, boots, all the stuff. And they can just come out and play. And then again, if they do get a little bit wet underneath, it's okay. We'll just help them change their clothes. So our program is for sure rain or shine, and usually the kids don't care. It's like the grown-ups that care about getting wet or cold, and usually if they have good gear, they're warm and dry underneath, and then they can just play. We do have extra rain gear here for kids to borrow if you don't have any, and we do have some backup extra clothes as well. Well, since we are Treehouse Hollow Preschool, of course you had to come and see our treehouse. So this treehouse was built with the first group that was here with Franny, our school founder, and the kids actually helped create the treehouse with what they wanted it to include. And so there's ladders, there's like a wiggly ladder, there's a hammock, a space for jumping or sliding, and the treehouse is ever evolving too. So we have, in recent years, they added little steering wheels and a telescope. Sometimes we have a pulley where they can do a bucket up and down. So it's a really fun, creative place for the kids to play. And it also provides some great gross motor activities for the kids to be, climbing and jumping and doing all of that kind of stuff. Of course, we do the fine motor with the artwork and things inside and outside too, but it's so great to have some big places to have big movements. And although we can do so much of that here, being on a school campus is limiting in some way. And so we always had this vision of, it'd be so great to do this Adventure Day program where the kids could actually be like in nature and climbing on trees and scaling over rocks and splashing in puddles in like different places, seeing different flora and fauna. And so several years ago we created the Adventure Day program, and that is where we take a group of kids, there's 8 kids and 2 teachers, and they go off campus for the main program, so from 9 to 1. We do have a passenger van that's all outfitted with car seats that are securely installed and tested all the time. And so when it's your child's adventure day, then you drop them off in the upper parking lot. They load up into the van with their other friends that day, and then they go off to one of the amazing local places that we have around here to explore. So some of our favorite places are Regal, which is just right around the corner from us. We go to Riverfront Regional Park a lot. We've gone out to the coast and Armstrong Redwoods. We go to Spring Lake and Howarth Park area. We have some favorite rock climbing spaces there and creeks and things to explore. But we all of our favorite locations, we stay within a half-hour radius of the school so that we're not spending all day in the van, and if there is ever some emergency, we could zip back really fast. But Adventure Days are such an amazing opportunity for the kids to be in nature for that solid chunk of time and fully immerse themselves in what they're doing instead of being interrupted. They're with their friends, they're with teachers who know how to teach in that kind of open environment, and we do have all kinds of safety protocols in place that we do with the kids at the beginning of the year. We teach them some animal calls so that we're not, hey, come back here. We have like a call like, oh, oh, or coyote call, and that means come quick. And so we'll be out and about in the world at the parks, and we'll do our calls, and the kids know right away, like, oh, that means to do this, to come over, or let's go. So it's a great way that we get to communicate with the kids, and it's more fun than talking at them all the time. So any kids that come 3 or more days a week, one of their days will be Adventure Day. And it's part of the program. It's not an additional thing that you sign up for, and it's not optional. It's part of our philosophy that the kids should have this wonderful experience, and we're really excited about it. And the kids, they love it. A lot of them, their favorite day is Adventure Day. So we don't offer it right now for 2-day-a-week kids because we want them to have that consistency of being in the classroom instead of like, where am I going today? One day's Adventure Day, one day's a classroom day. So 2-day-a-week kids stay in the classroom. Sometimes if we have an absence and we know ahead of time, we'll invite one of those kids to come if that works out. So that's a really fun part of our program, and there's more information about it on our website as well. Here's our Mint Hill, which is a really cool spot in our school. So it has this really neat walkway that goes all the way up, and then a bridge, and then another walkway that goes down. And there's even a tunnel that the kids can crawl through to get to the other side. And I wanted to point it out because we grow some of our mint here that we make tea from. And then there's all kinds of other beautiful plants growing on this little hill and with the arbor that the kids love to look at. We have a passion flower blooming right now that's beautiful, and all kinds of things in the garden. Here we are at our outdoor block shelf, and I just wanted to show it to you because this is a great example of we have all kinds of things both indoors and outdoors. We consider outdoor part of our classroom. So anything that we would have indoors, like art supplies and books and all that, we do bring those things outside. And so here's our block shelf. These blocks stay out here all the time. We have different blocks that are inside blocks. And this is so fun because this is another example of those loose parts, and the kids make all kinds of things with this. We also have some sheds in the back that have all kinds of manipulatives like puzzles and other big gross motor stuff that we pull out and change all the time so that the kids can help be like, oh yeah, let's pull out that thing today and make a bridge or a slide. And so we just have a lot of fun out here, and the kids are always building something really fun together. Here's our sandbox area at the school, another great place for that big movement. So we have a shelf that has all kinds of really fun pots and pans and dinosaurs and funnels and all kinds of things for the kids to use and make creations in here. And we do let the kids, there's an outdoor sink that's really close by, and sometimes the kids will fill buckets and make all kinds of big rivers in here, which is super fun. And we do have this target, and so kids like to throw things, and so we encourage them that if they do want to throw the sand, they can throw it at the target, but nobody, can be in the way. So we talk to the kids about that, but it's kind of a fun thing, a fun way for us to say yes to them and have a spot where they can do that kind of thing. And we also have real tools in our sandbox. It's really frustrating to work with little kid plastic tools when you're actually trying to do some work. So we do have real tools that are kid size, and we talk to them all the time about guidelines to make sure that we're keeping them safe and the friends around them safe while using them. Here we are in the sun part of our school, and we call it our sun garden, and it's where we have all of our beautiful flowers and veggies and fruits growing. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. So we do have some garden beds where we grow things with the kids depending on the season. So right now there's chard and celery and all kinds of things in the mint family. We have strawberries going, peas, lots of really yummy things. So we encourage the kids to just nibble as they're going along throughout their day. And we do have the kids do all the planting in the garden because the kids are much more likely to try to eat new things if they grew it themselves, which is super fun. And we do like to also introduce different things like, oh, did you know you can eat nasturtiums? Yeah, they're kind of spicy, but they're good, and so kids are always trying new things to nibble on here in the garden. We also do plant a lot of flowers, and we're kind of intentional when we're choosing what to put in our garden so that we know that it will make a lot of flowers so that the kids can really feel free to harvest. Because it's hard to grow flowers and then tell the kids, oh, you can't pick those and touch them. So we do try to plant things that will make a lot of flowers so the kids can either eat them or make potions with them or cakes or all kinds of different creations that they might want to do. Here I am on our deck at the Creekside campus, and this is the area where the kids enter our school. We call it our garden deck. And you'll come in through the gate and you'll come into this area, and on the other side there's a shoe cubby area, and so the kids will take off their shoes before they go inside, and that helps us keep the classroom more clean. And most kids like to have their shoes off anyways. We are optional for our kids wearing their shoes. They can choose to put them on or off when they're outside, so we leave that up to them. We're in kind of our little cubby here where there's some kitchen stuff set up right now, but this area is always evolving. So right now there's kind of like a little tea area in the kitchen. There's some baby dolls around, And this is also a great area. Sometimes if it's raining, it's a covered porch, so we can be out here as, you know, additional space. Okay, welcome inside our classroom. So it's going to look a little different than how it does during the school year because we've been closed for a while with the virus. So all the artwork is off of the walls and things are slightly in different places. So you'll have to use your imagination of the kids here and all the lively, beautiful energy happening. But this is our kitchen area. We do a lot of cooking with the kids. So like I said before, we harvest things from the garden with them, and we'll invite them to make snack with us. And we have like little tortilla presses that we'll make tortillas with the kids and all kinds of things. And we have our tea, we have all of our dishes that the kids kind of pull in and out themselves. So it's really fun here. And we actually do quite a bit of cooking in our little teeny tiny kitchen in our classroom. So this is our kitchen, and we also, in this kind of entry area, this is front when you come in from the deck. And there is a lunchbox shelf, and so there's a spot for each child to place their water bottle. We ask that you bring like a child-sized water bottle that they can use throughout the day. And they do bring their own lunch from home into their own containers, and they'll put that in the lunchbox shelf when they come in, wash their hands, and kind of get ready for the day. So we provide the organic snack for them, and we have that family style, and then they have their own lunchbox from home at lunchtime. Here we are in the bathroom area, super exciting, you know, for preschool age kids. We spend a lot of time in here coming in and out. And so we do have two little sinks where the kids wash their hands. We have a whole chart. We do emphasize a lot of hand washing here, which will be, of course, emphasized even more with all of the virus stuff going on and new precautions we're all taking. So we do have a hand washing song that we sing with the kids. Typically, we all have our own cloth towels on little hooks where the kids' names are, and we'll see if we can space those out far enough. But we do implement certain things like the cloth towels because we are a green business, so that means we commit to using sustainable and recycled materials as much as possible, reducing waste, and asking our families to do the same. So it's one of the measures we took as a Sonoma County green business. And yeah, so we're in the bathroom. There's the hand washing here. Like I said, there's two little child-sized toilets on the other side of the room, and there's very low shelves. So this is actually kind of like part of the classroom. So it's semi-enclosed, but it's enough where a child could be in here and there could be a teacher very close by seeing, you know, what's happening and being ready to help when needed. This is our art and sensory area. So I'm at one of our big tables where we do all kinds of art projects and Play-Doh and all that kind of stuff. So, but over here we have open art shelves. So we have all kinds of supplies out for the kids all the time. So whenever they feel inspired, they can create something that they would like to do. And then we also have different projects that we put out for them to do, and it's open-ended art. It's not like we're all making cats that look the same. So we do, when we're doing our emergent curriculum and planning different activities, we'll put all kinds of, you know, open-ended art material here for the kids, and this is a well-used space. This is our loft area, and that has an upstairs and a downstairs. So upstairs right now we have our kind of reading nook. So we have our books up there. We also do change the upstairs and downstairs to reflect whatever we're doing in our curriculum. So like I said before, this has been like a whole spaceship before. It's been like a hairdresser salon, a pet shop, all kinds of things. So it's really fun to have a loft because it creates, you know, more places for the kids to be throughout the classroom, both individually and in groups. So there's yeah, lots of fun space upstairs and then downstairs, and there's even a little cubby under the stairs that the kids really like to crawl in, and even if they're needing like a little quiet space, that's a great space to go to have a little break. We're in our circle time area, and you'll see on the shelves we have all kinds of blocks. We have manipulatives like puzzles and building things, little animals, little people. We'll sometimes have baskets of other loose parts like sticks and things from nature. And on the other side we also have an instrument shelf. And this area can evolve sometimes too. And then this is where we gather for our circle time. So the beginning and the end of the day often we'll be here and do circle time and play and sing together. And then the spaces open up also just during the day for building and playing and doing all kinds of fun things. This is our cubby area, and also where the parents sign in and out. So we'll have a paper over here typically for signing in and out, checking different messages, and then the cubbies are right below. Most kids have their own cubby. Some kids share a cubby if they have alternating days. And this is where their backpacks will go and any artwork that they've made that you can take home. And I wanted to talk a little bit about parent participation. So Treehouse Hollow is definitely a community-based school. We really want all of our families to feel equally vested in our school and our community and feel like they have a voice here and be a part of their kids' education. So we ask that all of our families do 2 hours of parent participation a month, which equals pretty much 20 hours a year, and you can do it month by month, just 2 hours, or you could do one big project and be all done in one swing. It's really fun. We have dig-in days typically once a month where families can come and we'll have a task list and work in the garden together. We are a nonprofit, and so we have a board of directors that's run by volunteer parents, and so some of those parents are doing that for their hours. We also invite parents to come into the classroom and help out and spend their hours just playing and being here and lending a hand. And we do some occasional field trips outside of Adventure Day. Like usually in the winter, we'll go to the fire station down the road and do like a toy donation and all of that. So we do ask that the parents are involved in that way, and it can be grandparents, aunties, uncles, whoever, and each adult that comes counts for hours. So if you have 2 grown-ups coming to a dig-in day, that's for 2 hours, that's 4 hours total. We also do have parent meetings 4 times a year, and for our Redwood families, we just ask that you attend 2 of those meetings. For Creekside, we ask that you attend 3 of them. We try to make them really fun, meaningful topics, so we usually have one on positive discipline and problem solving and help, what do I do with my preschooler? There's always issues like that come up. That's so nice to like sit in a parent community and kind of talk about that together from a guest speaker. Sometimes we'll have somebody come and talk about art in the preschool age and what that looks like and how to encourage it and how to talk to children about their art. And we have I don't know, all kinds of fun things. It's really different every year. We'll also teach about, you know, some of our outdoor philosophy, risky play, which is something that we do here. We encourage kids to take safe risks. So you know, if they're wanting to climb on the outside of the treehouse, we're watching them, and we'll constantly kind of just check in with them, be close by, and say, how do you feel safe with what you're doing? And that's a way for children to kind of like scaffold skills and feel independent and feel like, you know, they're really gaining some new skills and new ways to do things, and that they have that trust in themselves and the trust from us to be able to be competent in that way. So it's all kinds of things like that that we really try to get on the same page with, because you are your child's, you know, primary person, and we're like their secondary part, and we want to work in a community with you so that we're all on the same page and we can be a supportive community together. So thank you so much for coming on this little tour of Creekside during this strange time when our school is closed. And we'll be following up, and you know, you can always email follow-up questions, because of course I can't cover everything in a video tour. So if you have any individualized questions, make sure to reach out and let me know. All right, thanks again.